Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video on my channel, Makes Movies. If you are new to this channel, this is basically where I talk to you guys about my passion for movies. This goes from collections, hauls, reviews, and today's video, so let's get into it. Yes, I am wearing my loungewear again that I did wear in yesterday's video. However, I will be honest, I am really not feeling too great today. So hence why I'm trying to do a fairly easy video for today, because I do want to try and post every day. And whilst I still actually have my voice, I thought, why not? I've got a bit of a temperature at the moment, and I am having some coughing fits, so I might have to pause a little bit, so you might see some edits here and there. But yeah, so I thought I'd do a nice easy one. And for today, I decided to do 10 films that I'd love to see on the big screen. Now, I have done this once before, but I feel like a lot of those films on that list now you might actually be able to see in the cinema. For me, these are ones that I'm not sure if they'll ever come out on the cinema, especially like my first three maybe. But these are the movies that I'd love to have experienced on the big screen, or even if they were to do an anniversary at the big screen, that would be lovely. So this is in order. I think people probably know what my number one is, because I have actually been able to see Lilo and Stitch in the cinema. Got to see that a couple of years ago, so yes. But so like I said, these are ones that I don't think they might. I mean, maybe one, two, three, maybe 3 or 4 of these you might be able to see on the big screen at some point. But some of them I'm not sure. So yeah, so let's get into it. These are favourites from my childhood, so that's why I kind of lead towards more that than the more modern. But at number 10 is Men in Black. I'd love to see this on the big screen, to see the action, the aliens, and especially with it now having a 4K release, I think it would absolutely look amazing on the big screen. I mean, this came out in what, 95? No, 97, so a couple of years later. And I really enjoy this film. Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones. So yeah, this is one I'd like to see just for the action for me. There's a couple of others like Speed I'd like to see, that's action-wise. Lethal Weapon, like I would like to have seen that. But these are the movies that if I was born a few years before 1995, maybe then I would have been able to see it on the big screen. But yeah, Men in Black. If you have not watched it and you like alien films, definitely recommend the first one. This one I picked for the horror vibes, and at number 9 is The Blair Witch Project. This creeped me out in high school when I first watched it, and it's now become one of my favourite found footage films. So I'd love to see how this is on the big screen, especially since it will be completely dark, surround sound. So yes, this is one I definitely recommend. This is one of 2 found footage films in this list. But I really enjoy this. So I feel like the darkness and the surround sound will make it more effective. I'd also like to see a different ending maybe, because I know they filmed multiple endings, so I would love to see sort of like depending on what screening you go for, you get that certain ending. But yeah, so this is definitely a horror one I'd like to see. I've chucked in a couple of horrors in here. Number 8 is an absolute childhood favourite of mine, and I know few people have watched this, and that is Small Soldiers. I'd love to see this. I think it'll be fun, especially with the CGI for the toys and that. I think it would look really good. And I think it deserves a 4K release, and I think when it does, I think it should go out in the cinema again. But I know I'm like 90% sure this will never get a cinema release. I'll be shocked if it does. But I was shocked that Dumber and Dumber come out in the cinema, and I got to see that. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see. But this is starring Tommy Lee Jones, Kristen Dunst, Gregory Smith, Phil Hartman, Kevin Dunn, Dennis Leary. So it is quite fun in this. It's basically this toy company ends up putting these military chips into toys, and they end up coming to life. So you've got the Commandos versus, was it the Elites? Yeah. No, the Commando Elite against the Gorgonites, sorry. And I think it would just be fun to see, you know. It's one of my childhood favourites. One I haven't actually watched in a very long time, so might give this a watch soon. But yeah, Small Soldiers at my number 8 spot. At number 7, this is probably, and that is Step Up. Now, I really love this film. This was the film that got me hyped to do dancing for a while. I even went to a college interview for dance as a course. Obviously, I ended up not doing it. But I really enjoyed this film. I was quite surprised at how much I enjoyed this film as well. This is one, I think my mum randomly brought me this on DVD at some point in my childhood. I think I was maybe between 10 and 15 maybe. When did this come out? 2008. So yeah, I watched this later on in life, but I really enjoyed it, and so I love the dancing in this. Channing Tatum and what was her name? Jenna Dorwin? Yeah, Jenna Dorwin. I love the fact that these were a couple for a while. Bit gutted they split, but that happens. But I think the music in this is really good. Not just the dance, but the music. And there's a certain scene in this film I always cry when I watch it, because I did not expect this in a dance film. So yeah, if you haven't watched Step Up, definitely recommend you do. Probably other films as well. I will do a Step Up ranking at some point. So at number 6, we have Paranormal Activity. This is the other horror film I want to see on the big screen. Just because when you saw the trailer for this, they had the horror reaction of the people in the seats, and I'd love to be able to experience this. And for me, I don't know if this is just me, but when I watch a film that I truly enjoy on the big screen, it feels like I'm watching it for the very first time again. And yet I'll be sitting there quoting it word for word, kind of like what I did with Toy Story last week. So Paranormal Activity, this and Blair Witch Project are two of my favourite found footage films. There's some others like Grave Encounters and things like that I enjoy. But this is certainly one I'd love to see on the big screen, just because I'd love to feel that tenseness of the fact that you're watching this camera and you're just wondering what's going to happen next. Even I know what's going to happen. But I think that would be absolutely amazing to see. So Blair Witch Project is my number 6. And now into my top 5. So a lot of people probably know what my top 5 would be. Well, the third spot, maybe not so much, but the rest. So at number 5 is Treasure Planet. This is probably a Disney movie that might never go on the big screen. If it does, I will be booking it as a day off. They have shown the other ones. I mean, they're currently showing Pixar, the first lot of Pixar. They did show Lilo and Stitch at The View a couple of years ago, which I got to see. So fingers crossed Treasure Planet does get one, because this is my second favourite Disney film of all time. And it's just, I'd love to hear that I'm Still Here song, which I have now got tattooed on my arm. I got my second tattoo done now, and it's to represent Treasure Planet, but also to represent what I went through last year. So this is very important to me. But yeah, I'd love to see the space station in 4K and just sort of experience that trip that they go on, and to hear all the funny one-liners and that speech by Silver? Yeah, Silver. I'll try and remember his name. But yeah, so Treasure Planet is my number 5. Okay, at number 4, I think Jamie Powell will agree with me on this one, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 95 version, the one that came out in the 90s. Reason being is because I think it'd be so fun, especially with how this was filmed and the puppetry. I think it would look absolutely amazing. And it's one I grew up with, so if it didn't show, I'd be surprised. Especially since we've got all those other Turtle films out. So who knows, maybe at some point this will do. But I think Jamie would agree with me. He would 100% go and see this on the big screen. And it's just a fun little childhood thing. I can imagine myself sitting in the back and just laughing at the certain scenes and hearing the cowabunga, and things like that. So 100% Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles needs to be on the big screen. Okay, with number 3, I kind of cheated a little bit, because I'd like both of these films on the big screen. And the reason being is because I really enjoyed both of them. And that is Scooby-Doo, the live action 1 and 2. Now, I would love to see the other Scooby-Doo films, like Witch's Ghost, Zombie Island, Cyber Chase, Alien Invaders. Like those, I would love to see on the big screen. But if I had to go, it had to be the live action ones, because I'd love to be able to see what that would be like on the big screen. I can't even remember when these come out. I think it's 2000s, wasn't it? Yeah, 2004 and 2002, so 2 years apart. But I think it'd just be fun and entertaining, and it would just be nice to sit there and quote the films. Pretty much the same for all of these films, really. But just to see Scooby on the big screen, it'll be hilarious, because I think these two are the only ones that were live action that come out on the big screen. I don't know if we'll ever get another one. But I would, for an anniversary of this maybe, I think they should show it. because I would sit down and watch both films, even if you did a double bill. If you did a double bill like they did with Terrifier 1 and 2 that I saw last year with Evander and his sister, I would say yes, do a double bill of this, because I think a lot of people would go to this, because I think a lot of people would feel nostalgic for this. So yeah, Scooby-Doo 1 and 2. Kind of cheated for my number 3, but I had to. Okay, my top 2, I think we all know what they're going to be. If you've been around for my channel, you'll know. If not, at number 2, it's going to be the vampire film that I fell in love with and I was obsessed with, and that is Fright Night. Especially since this is now the 4K release. If it does not show in the cinema, I will be shocked. But it is a rather old film. I mean, I know they've been showing older films lately, and I think that's really good. I wanted cinemas to do that for so long. I mean, if you watch back on my older videos, you'll see me talking about the fact that I wanted them to start showing older films, because I feel like a lot of the time when you've got a cinema card like me and you've seen all the newer films you want to see, you're then like, well, I can't really use my card. But yet, with all the Pixar films that are coming out every Saturday and Sunday for the next couple of months, I've booked to go and see all of those. So Fright Night, I would 100% go and book. I'd love to see this on the big screen, especially with all the effects, because this was mostly practical, and I'd love to see how this was on the big screen. But I saw it later on in life, and this is what got me obsessed with vampires. So thank you very much, Fright Night. Okay, but my number 1, Jim Carrey fan all the way. If I do not see this on the big screen, I'll be so upset. But I don't think it ever will. I will be shocked. And that is The Mask. Jim Carrey's one of the biggest roles. This, Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber hit him off into the stratosphere. He did so well with these. And honest to God, The Mask, this was the movie that got me into Jim Carrey. So I would absolutely 100% love to watch this on the big screen. To see him do all the spins, the quotes, the dancing, just literally all of it. 100%. If The Mask shows on the big screen, literally as soon as I see it, I will book it. I will book the day off at work, and I will make sure I get to see this. I mean, I've seen a couple of the Jim Carrey films in the cinema now. I mean, Dumber and Dumber, like I said. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I believe I saw that on the big screen a few years ago. And obviously the Sonic films, but not much of his classic films. So 100%, we need to get more Jim Carrey classics on the big screen. But this one, my childhood was built up on this. So it needs to be done. So yeah, that is my top 10 movies I'd love to see on the big screen. Obviously, there are others. Back to the Future, I would like to see. Jumanji, the original, I'd like to see. Evil Dead, I would like to have seen. So there's a lot. I might do a future one. Who knows? I might do another one every year. Just sort of like to keep you guys updated on the other ones. But yeah, these are the ones that were most important to me in my childhood. So had to include them on this list. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then do give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button and also notification bell down below to be notified when I post. And leave me your comments on your top 10 movies you'd love to see on the big screen that were from your childhood. I'd love to know. So yeah, apologies for my voice if it sounded a bit off and for the random editing you're going to get. But I wanted to get you guys a video out, so whilst I still had my voice, because I have a funny feeling maybe by Sunday I might not have it, so we will see. But yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!